their First Amendment rights. They're illegal because they're a threat to national security, and they use this idea of national security. We'll get into it later, but that's what they're considered. So the wall. The wall has been working on for about the last 8 years, and it goes through, and you've seen the pictures of it, the big stone. Yeah, go ahead.
Where are they not allowed to wave the flag? In the settlements?
I'll get to that in 1 second. So that's the best question of all. That's the one that was most upsetting for me to find out. But thank you. So they're building the wall, and roughly goes in here, and all of a sudden it does these really weird things. It starts to deviate and grab these little pockets of settlements. Oh, there's some more settlements. We'll grab these ones, and that's not the wall. It runs a really nice straight line, goes back, does one of these, and then goes back in one more time, and then you're done. And so, first, people don't like walls. People have to live next to them. People that used to live right there are now clearly in the West Bank, and before it was a little ambiguous. So people are pretty mad about this big giant. This is what it looks like. It's twice the size of the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall has nothing on this. I was at the Reagan Library a couple months ago. Berlin Wall looks, it's roughly, maybe put your hand up at it. That's about how big the Berlin Wall is. Not very intimidating. This is about 3 times that, 8 meters tall. Pretty intimidating, but most of the wall is actually not wall, it's fence. So this is all wall right in here. And this is all wall. And around Bethlehem, this is all wall. But people start getting pissed off because, hey, these are settlements, but these are all Palestinian villages, all through here. These are Palestinian orchard lands, and what? There's no Palestinian area. There might not be a settlement, but there's an underground water table, and that was so either the wall has deviated from the actual border to grab either a settlement, an underground water table, not one, but just about every single one within a 20-mile stretch of the border. Eventually they'll be drowning out, or not drowning, dehydrating out the West Bank. And also too for military high ground. But they didn't really ask these people what side of the wall they wanted to be on. They didn't ask them if they wanted to have to, go through a border check just to go water their trees. But they started building it, and I started seeing that there's a lot of popular resistance movements into them. I got really interested. In the first place I went to was Bilin, and it's a small little town, right across the street from one of those quality of life settlements, and it's right here. I got involved in Bilin, and Yilin is right next to it. Both of which are right there, and they're building the fence through. And the thing about the fence is like, it's a fence. How bad can it be? Well, it's actually it's 3 fences. It's one big one. It's about 4 meters tall, and there's 2 3-meter rolls of barbed wire. So 9-foot rolls of barbed wire. Usually the fence is electrified. They have big giant watchtowers, and they clear 60 yards on each side. So just on as far as land goes, I think I have it written down. How much land is the wall? I'll take that. Whatever. So I think it's about 450 miles long, and multiplied times 60 yards. It's a pretty massive grab of land, even in itself, let alone all these little pieces of land that have been taken away. So in Bilin, this is where it gets kind of fun and exciting and personalized, and not so much a lecture. I go and I kind of show up, just in case you're interested in going yourself. You just go. You just go. You get yourself on a bus, and you show up. I showed up in the city of Bilin a day early. I thought there was a protest, and I wanted to kind of document it. I'm telling myself this, and I tell my mom this. My mom said, "Be safe." I said, "Okay." No craziness, nothing like that. And so I go to Bilin, and they're like, "Oh, welcome, but you're a day early. So why don't you stay in our little clubhouse? You can sleep there, and you can help us edit our emails because we send a lot of emails to people in positions of human rights authority and whatnot." So I do that, and the next day, they kind of take me out on a little tour before the protest, and they built the wall 4 years ago. They built the fence through. They cut off, let's say this is the town hub, and this is all of their little trees. These are olive trees that they get the average member of these small little agricultural towns. They get about 70% of their yearly income off of the olives. They ship them into Israel and to other places. And so this is maybe total 10 miles by 10 miles. Well, the wall just goes like this. so for a lot of people, they still have, a lot of families, they still have, you know, all their orchards on the other side. And so every single Friday for the last 4 years, after the 12 o'clock prayers, people get out of the mosque. Most people, that's another big secret about Palestine. Not having an Islamic state has made people not quite as Islamic as in other countries. I lived in Morocco for 2 months, and it was really nice. It's really interesting to live in an Arab, non-Islamic country. So most people that don't really want to go to the mosque, they don't go, which is kind of, it's an interesting, it's not quite as socially unacceptable as in other countries, I've noticed. So yeah, maybe like half the town goes to the mosque, half the town sits around and hangs out and drinks groceries, coffee all the time. And then they meet up, and they march up to the wall. It's a little road outside of town, about a mile outside of town. They march up to it, and they wave flags, and you know, they sing, and they clap, and the Israeli military comes up in the Jeep. They all run out, and they shoot tear gas, and they shoot rubber bullets and flares, and then they all get back in the Jeep. Palestinians march home, and go back, and they have an afternoon meal with their family. This is every single Friday for the last 4 years. And I see these, I went to my first one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Dang it, I also forgot that one too. My first one I got on the front page of the newspaper in Palestine. It was awesome. This is like the biggest Arab newspaper in this the whole region. And it was on the front page, like running with a little hockey mask on. And so I get really involved in it, and all these people, these personalities are crazy, and they do this. I can't. At first, the first time I went to it, I was like, wow, that was awesome. I can't believe you guys have been doing that for 4 years. Why don't you guys actually do something? And my friend who's the leader, maybe we don't have to take hands, but if there's any people that are kind of liberty-oriented anarchist people here, a really interesting strain of community, very democratic-oriented popular groups are the popular resistant movements, and they're like these little mini town halls that are set up, and each town has their own. It's very democratically run. It's really nice because Hamas, Fatah, PLO, PA, they don't care about these little people. They just don't care. They don't give them guns, definitely. They don't even give them ballots even sometimes. And these people have to go through very extraneous efforts to go and vote. So they're just people. They're like, hey, we're just normal, everyday people. We're organized against this. If we brought out something like a gun, they would come and they would kill us. For throwing rocks, they will come into our town and occupy it for a weekend and put a perimeter fence around us and not let us in or out. Like, yeah, we could use like a rocket or something like that, but like that's our death sentence. And as the leader of this popular movement, I really don't want any of our people to die because we're not going to be able to knock the wall down alone. They rely heavily on the Israeli Supreme Court, on the International Court, and so it's really fun. You put on something around your face, and then you run up, and you say, hey, look at me, and then you run back, and they shoot at you, and then you run back. And that was kind of my experience, and I am taking notes at the same time, and I'm trying to figure out, in Beeline, there's kids as young as like 6. My leader would bring his 4-year-old, and this old lady in a wheelchair, this young man that has cerebral palsy that's a Palestinian, and they push their little buttons, they go up to it, and they get shot at too, just like everybody else, and they turn back and go around. Very, very popular. Popular as far as this is the whole community, the whole populace shows up for these things. And so if I start hearing about this other kind of protest that people are involved in, and these kids are getting arrested and not really arrested, but like kidnapped, I guess is the best word. And it's in a country, it's in the nearby town of Beeline. It's about 10 miles away. And Beeline's a little different. This is Beeline. Nice, clear little fence. This is the IDF